this is the front of the property that's been relatively mowed to some degree. I'm going to try to cut out basically this entire crop of trees and then keep this area mowed. And these trees on the right here, I'm going to thin out and then mow between them. Keep some trees cover down here. These suckers are what come up in the field, and I'd like to be able to run over. This is, maybe an inch thick here, but you can see that they like to come up when I don't keep the field mowed. Hopefully that won't be a problem in the long term. Of course, we don't want to get rid of the pecan trees. This is an example of the field growing up. In general, how it grows up when it's not been mowed for a while. That hasn't been mowed back here for a couple years, so in general it doesn't get too thick. But the first time mowing through it, you always have to hit it a couple times, it seems, at least with the rotary, the zero-turn mower that we've been using on it. Some more of the trees that I would like to take care of. Ideally, I suppose if I could run this kind of thing over with the shredder, it would be fine. Otherwise, what I usually end up having to do is get out and cut it down. Oh, that looks more like maybe a little more than 2 inches in diameter, so probably would not make sense. We have a mesquite that's grown up, and this guy I'd probably have to cut down as well, cut down to the ground, because it's also another 2 inches or so thick. So I'll have to cut him down and throw it in a burn pile. Here's this tree line down the center of our property where they used to have a bunch of fencing and whatnot, and the trees grew up on it. A lot of poison ivy in here and viney stuff that climbs up the trees. Ideally, I'd like to be able to back up into this as far as I can and cut down a lot of the growth. And then as soon as I can thin out the trees, I just want to be able to at least get the tractor and shredder through to keep it clean and then back up to get as close to the trees as I can. Just keep the poison ivy from growing. The wife and the son are incredibly allergic to poison ivy. I am not, but I don't like chancing it either. So. And here you can see it's pretty tall grass of some sort, and we get a little bit of this stuff in the distance where it's kind of dried out, but usually doesn't have a problem with the zero turn. Again, just have to hit it a couple times to get it knock it down in the first place. Here's another area that I'd really love to just back up into it and cut as much as I can up until the big trees. It's a pain in the butt to clear this by hand. If I could, I would, but it's so thick I don't think any shredder is gonna make a difference. I could back up into parts of it like here and probably get in it, but we'll see. Other than that, this field is pretty much what happens. This was last mowed in the fall, in September, and we were kind of letting it sit for now because of the flowers. We'll wait till they die back, and then I'd like to keep it relatively clean. It helps, it seems to at least help keep the mosquitoes down when the field can dry out. As you can see by the water in the ground, it's recently rained, but this ground holds water like nobody's business when it does rain. We were in a drought for a long time and it didn't grow so well as it is now. Lots of mesquites that we let grow up that need to be gone. Again, another tree that would be nice to be able to back over with the shredder. It's an inch or less in diameter, so if I can't, it wasn't the end of the world, but I'd like to be able to just take these guys out when I see them and not have to worry about it. There's a possibility I might buy the property next door in the next year, and if so, it's got a incredible cover, so it's going to be a job getting that cleaned. I don't think any shredder is going to help there, because it's thick. Once I get this area all clean all the way to the back, I'd like to plant it and be at least in any of the areas that we're not actively growing pecan trees. So probably get a disc and see what I can't manage. Up here, these oats are more than waist high. I'm 6 foot tall, so you know it grows pretty well. Although I think they're probably going to die back shortly and be replaced with the weeds from the summer. Again, more of the area that I'd like to back up and do some, but I don't think there's much I can do beyond physical work just to get in there and cut them down and get it cleared and ready. Lots and lots of poison ivy vines going up into it. I've been spraying some of it, as you can see here, over time, but this year I'm going to do a lot more now that we're actually living on the property. So if you watch here, you'll see the entire house is underneath water right now, several inches at spots, and it goes out to here and it stops right where those white skirting in starts, and that's a hill there. I think that if I do some gradients, I can make the water flow down here, because I just walked up a hill, and it blocks any water from coming this way towards me and draining. So you can see not all the property fills with water, but you can clearly see where it puddles and it's in low spots.